Capitulum octavum, the 8th chapter, Taberna Romana. Haec est taberna. Haec significa this. This is a shop, taberna. Haec quoque taberna est. This one is actually was a food shop, and we could call it a taberna, which is a shop where you would buy things like jewelry or like knickknacks and things, clothing. This one is actually called a popina. It's a food shop, and I've been in this one in the city Ostia near Rome. Haec taberna antiqua Ostia est. We don't say in Ostia, because it's the name of a town, and with cities, towns, domus, and rus, a preposition we never use. So this Ostia is actually the locative case. So it translates to in Ostia. It looks like the genitive case, but it's actually the locative case. Haec taberna, this tavern, this antiqua taberna, this ancient tavern, Ostiae est, or in Oppido Ostia est. Ostia est prope Romam. Est ne Ostia procula Roma, far from? Minime est prope, it's near to or close to Romam. Quid est Ostia? Ostia est Oppidum. Ubi est Ostia? Ostia est prope Romam. Quid est? Est taberna. Hic vir, this man, est tabernarius, qui tabernam habet, est tabernarius. So this qui is he who tabernam habet, has a shop, est tabernarius, is a shopkeeper. Quis est? Est tabernarius, shopkeeper. Quid habet tabernarius? Remember our trick? Tabernarius habet blank. Tabernarius habet, and we put in the accusative tabernam as a shop. Ubi est tabernarius? Tabernarius est in taberna, nonne? Nomen tabernarii, nomen viri in pictura, est albinus. The shopkeeper's name is Albinus. Quis est Albinus? Albinus est tabernarius. He's a shopkeeper. Quid est nomen tabernarii? Tabernarii est genitivus. Nomen tabernarii est Albinus. Hic puer, this boy, malum emit. Malum significa habeo malum, said malum non est rubrum, said malum ex vitro, out of glass. So habeo malum hic. So puer malum emit. Emit significa buys. Emit. There's a famous Latin expression, caveat emptor. May the buyer beware. Caveat emptor. Emptor is a buyer. Puer pecuniam tabernarii est femina. In the picture, oops, trying to point. This woman selling the things, est tabernarii, non tabernarius, quia femina est. Vir est tabernarius, femina est tabernarii. Okay. Dat et malum accipit. So the boy, puer, pecuniam tabernarii dat, he gives the money. And then we have the dative case with this verb dat, gives tabernarii to the tavern keeper, to the shopkeeper, tabernarii. And when you go on a date, in the dative, you get a table for two. So we translate this as to the shopkeeper. Et malum, et puer, malum accipit. And the boy receives, accipit, accepts, malum, accusative, an apple. Emere est pecuniam dare, et aliquid accipere. Emere, to buy, est pecuniam dare, is to give money, et aliquid accipere, and to receive something. Aliquid is something, anything. Tabernaria, femina qui habet tabernam est tabernaria. Tabernaria malum vendit. What is vendit? Contrarius est emit. So puer emit, tabernaria vendit malum. Vendere est aliquid dare et pecuniam accipere. So to sell is to give something and to receive money. Tabernaria malum dat, she gives the apple. Et pecuniam accipit, and she receives the money. Tabernaria malum vendit, et puer malum emit. Vendit, contrarius est emit. Vendere, to buy, or to sell, sorry, and emere, to buy. Vendere et emere contrarii sunt. Quis malum emit? Emit est puer malum emit. Quis malum vendit? Tabernarius malum vendit. A vending machine sells things, right? So who's doing the selling? Tabernaria, the shopkeeper. Tabernarius vendit ne? On or out? Emit. Albinus tabernarius vendit. Tabernarius vendit et pecuniam accipit. Haec femina est Lydia, Quis est cum Lydia? Est meros, nonne? Quis est meros? Meros est servus Julii, nonne? Meros noniam servus Julii est. Noniam, he's no longer servus Julii. Cor, why? Remember, he took Julius's nonaginta numos, he took the 90 coins, and he discated, and he went away, Romam, to Rome. So he has escaped. Quae femina est? Est Lydia. Meros et Lydia, Romae, in opido Roma, ambulant. They walk in Rome. Romae, this is the locative case again. It looks like the genitive case, but again, with the names of cities, towns, domus, and rus, a preposition we never use. So we can't say in Roma, we have to say Romae to mean in Rome. So they walk in Rome. Qui Romae ambulant? Meros et Lydiae. Meros et Lydia, nominative. Romae, locative. Ambulant. So qui casus est Romae? Est locativus. It's locative. Shows location. And the locative case actually is older than the ablative, or it's older than prepositions. So before prepositions were invented, the ablative case was only used to indicate separation. That was the original use of the ablative. And then when prepositions were developed, the locative case kind of fell out of favor. But you can see with the names of cities and towns, things that are in the word house and countryside, I suppose, things that are being used all the time. I'm going home, I'm going to town, you know, if you name the specific town. The things that are most commonly said in any language are the ones that are most irregular. So you can imagine that, you know, Romae, even when prepositions were becoming, were being used more frequently as they were developing, you could see how this was something that was never not said. They were always talking about being in the city or in a town or at home. So these are the most irregular words. So the locative case still is going strong for those cities, towns, domus, house, and rus, countryside. A preposition you never use. Ubi ambulat meros et Lydia, sorry. Meros et Lydia ambulant Romae, in Rome. Haec est gemma, this is a gem. Haec quoque est gemma. Hi sunt duae gemmae. Hi, duae gemmae, pluralis. They're all plural. Hic est annulus cum gemma. Habeo, annulus cum gemma. Annulus cum gemma. Ecce duo annuli. Unus cum gemma, et unus sine gemma. Est cum gemma, gemmata, et sine gemma. Sine, non cum est sine. One with a gem and one without a gem. Sunt duo annuli, unus cum gemma, et unus sine gemma. Est ne annulus cum gemma aut sine gemma? Sine significat non cum. Est annulus sine without gemma. Quid est? Est annulus cum gemma. Haec non gemma, sed margarita est. Margarita significat Anglicae pearl. Margarita quoque pulchra est. It's beautiful. Gemmae et margaritae pulchrae sunt. Pulchrae sunt. Haec est linea. Linea, it's a string, a line. Haec est linea cum margaritis. Cum margaritis. Haec est linea margaritarum. So you could say this two ways. You could say it's a string with pearls or string of pearls. So linea cum margaritis, a string with pearls, is the same thing as linea margaritarum. I prefer the second way, linea margaritarum. I also say this in English. I say a string of pearls. In class, some people said they say string with pearls in English, and some people say they say string of pearls in English. So you can use it either one. Haec linea, this string, est sine margaritis. Esne pulchra? Esne pulchra linea sine margaritis? A string without pearls? Esne pulchra? Is it beautiful? Minime non est pulchra. Quae sunt? Est annulus cum gemma et linea margaritarum, or you could say linea cum margaritis. Quae sunt? Linea margaritarum out linea cum margaritis, and then all the way over there, oops, I can't do, annulus sine gemma. Annulus sine gemma. Annulus sine gemma est, et quoque est linea sine margaritis. Linea cum margaritis est ornamentum. Ornamentum significat jewelry, sicut. Oops, hic. Et hic. I'm not wearing any lineae today. Linea sine margaritis ornamentum non est, is not jewelry. Multa ornamenta Romana ad sunt. Ad sunt, remember, is the opposite of ab sunt. So here, many pieces of Roman jewelry are present. And we have an armilla here, a little arm bracelet, and we have, it looks like tres annuli, 3 rings. Quae femina est aemilia. Esne foida, aemilia foida, contrarius est pulchra. Minime non foida, sed pulchra, sed formosa est aemilia. Pulchra et formosa, Anglicae, beautiful. Formosa, pulchra, beautiful. Foida, ugly. Okay. Aemilia non est foida. Aemilia est pulchra. Aemilia est formosa. Ecce collum Aemiliae, collum neck. Quid est in collo? Quid est in collo? Est linea margaritarum, nonne? Ubi est linea cum margaritis? Est in collo est. Aemilia habet lineam, accusative, she has a string, cum margaritis in collo, et annulum habet, and she has a ring, annulum in digito. Digito est hic, fingers. So she has an annulum in digito on her finger. Ubi sunt margaritae? Margaritae sunt in collo Aemiliae. Unus digitus est, quot digiti sunt, unus, duo, tres, quator, quinque digiti sunt. Ecce digitus secundus, the second finger, et tertius, the third one, out, you could say digitus medius, the middle finger, digitus quartus, the fourth finger. Digitus quartus est inter digitum tertium et quintum. So quintum is the pinky. So inter, between, digitum tertium, the middle finger, at the pinky. So est digitum quartum, the fourth finger. Qui digitus est digitus tertius aut medius. Digitus vacuus est, it's empty, unlike my coffee. Est plenus. Est laguena, plena. It's a full laguena, est like water bottle. Okay, sed digitus vacuus est non habet annulum. Sunt ne annuli in digitis? Annuli sunt in his digitis? Are there any rings here? Minime. Non sunt annuli in digitis. Annuli in digitis ab sunt. Ubi est annulus Aemiliae? Annulus Aemiliae est in digito eos. Habet ne magnam pecuniam, Scrooge McDuck? Scrooge McDuck magnam pecuniam habet ita. Qui magnam pecuniam habet est pecuniosus. Pecuniosus, significat Anglicae, wealthy or rich. He who magnam pecuniam habet has a lot of money, est pecuniosus. And magna pecunia, if you remember from an earlier chapter, we discussed that you say magna instead of multa pecunia. You say big money instead of a lot of money or much money, because originally pecus is a herd of cattle. That was the original form of currency that the Romans, who are very, especially in the early days, were a very agrarian society. They relied on agriculture for their economy. So, you know, before coin money, they're using cows, theoretically. So this word developed from the word for cattle. So you'd say, oh, I have a big cow to trade. So magna pecunia instead of multa pecunia. Pecunios est significat magnam pecuniam habet. Cur pecuniosus est, Scrooge McDuck in Pictora, Scrooge McDuck pecuniosus est quia nam quod habet magnam pecuniam. Esne tu pecuniosus et pecuniosa? We're all at least pecuniosus or pecuniosa in spirit, right? Lectio secunda. So this is where in the chapter, Lydia and Amelia walk up to Albinos's shop and they start asking about prices. Lydia, of course, wants a ring with a gem. Meadows is like, what? This is so expensive. But guess what? Meadows eventually decides to give the 90 coins that the ring, you know, the Albinos, the Tabernarius, is asking for 100 coins for the ring that Lydia wants. But, you know, they barter, or they haggle, sorry. And Meadows only pays nona ginta, 90. And where did he get that money? Ex saculo Julii. Ecce unus sestertios. In what, this is a coin, a sestertios, you could call it, or a sesterce in English. Sestertios, I always just call it in English. And what was, what's the equivalent of this? Well, it's a pretty like everyday coin. And if you consider the fact that the ring that he's trying to buy, Meadows is trying to buy, is a ring with a gem, and it costs 100 coins, 100 sestertii. You know, we can imagine that that's maybe like a $10 bill or something. So I'm not sure, and it depends because different periods of time, the inflation was different in Rome. So it's hard to say like, oh, a sestertius is $5 or $10 or $20. But one thing that we do know is that it was a coin that was constantly in circulation. So think of it as like a $5 or a $10 or a $20 bill. We use those denominations all the time. So if you go to a store and you try to pay with a $20 bill, usually they're not going to be like, this bill is too high, do you have something smaller? But if you've ever tried to pay for something with a $100 bill, then maybe in your experience they've said, ooh, do you have, especially if you're at like a gas station or something like that, buying a pack of gum with a $100 bill, the tabernarius there might be like, do you have anything smaller? Like, are you really, so most of us don't walk around with $100 bills in our pockets. Most of us, if we have any money in our wallets, which nowadays people are using like ATM cards, debit cards, and credit cards all the time, or Venmo or whatever. But if you're walking around with bills in your wallet, I mean, in my wallet, I have like maybe some ones, maybe a couple fives, maybe a 10, maybe some 20s, but I typically do not carry $100 bills on me. I typically don't really carry much cash on me anyway, but anyway, this is a sestertios. How much was this? Let's say $10, somewhere like $5-10. And we can tell, by the way, scholars calculate like how much coins were worth during different periods, looking at the wages of soldiers. And, sometimes if they have any information, like how much a loaf of bread costs or something at that time. But the big one that they use to try to figure out like kind of inflation is how much soldiers were getting paid. Sestertius est numus Romanus. Sestertius est pecunia Romana. It's money, Roman money. Quid est sestertius est pecunia Romana. Quis est in hoc sestertio? Who's in this one? Est imperator Antoninus Pius. It's the emperor Antoninus Pius. Sestertius est numus, and a penny is a coin. So sestertius is a type of numus, and you can see in this second picture over there that there are a bunch of different types of coins. An aureum is that first one, And this is one that I think was used, but more like $100 bill. Okay, a gold coin, it was worth a bit more. Sestertios was something that more people used more often. An as, it's spelled A-S, an as was like, you know, a penny or something like that. It was maybe like $1 bill, not very much money. All right. Albinos clamat. Clamat, significa, ah! He's shouting. He exclaims. Ornamenta, ornamenta, ornamentum est jewelry. This is kind of a plural word in English. Jewelry can be like one piece of jewelry, or it can be, you know, kind of this plural idea, this collective noun. So ornamenta in Latin is the plural form, like jewels, jewelry, but in English we can translate ornamentum or ornamenta both as jewelry. Ornamenta, ornamenta, he's shouting it out. And this is actually in the accusative case. It's the accusative of exclamation. Since ornamentum is a neuter noun, the nominative and accusative are the same, so it's harder to tell that this isn't nominative, but when you say, like if I say good luck, I always say fortunam bonam, because I'm shouting it out. What we're really leaving out with an accusative of exclamation, in my mind, is you're leaving out a verb like, I wish for you good luck. Or here he's shouting ornamenta. You can imagine that as the direct object of some understood verb, like I'm selling jewelry. Okay, so ornamenta, accusative of exclamation. Quis clamat? Tabernarius clamat, albinus clamat. Quid clamat albinos? Clamat ornamenta, ornamenta. Ubi est albinos? Est in taberna. Meros et Lydia in via Romae in opido Roma ambulat. They are walking in a street, or on a street, Romae, in Rome. There's that locative. This, I believe, I can't remember where I got this picture, so I should have cited it, but I believe this is in Ostia, could be in like Pompeii or Herculaneum. I don't quite remember. Ubi ambulant Lydia and Meros in via Romae, in via Romae, in a street in Rome. Meros et Lydia apud tabernum, prope tabernum, apud tabernum consistunt. They stop apud tabernum, near the tavern, near the shop. Ubi consistunt, Lydia et Meros consistunt. Quid facit Meros et Lydia apud tabernum? Meros et Lydia apud tabernum consistunt. Lydia tabernam albini digito monstrat. Monstrat, we get the word demonstrate. What does demonstrate mean? You point out or you show. So she is showing to Metis, she's saying, Ecce taberna. So she's digito with her finger, monstrat tabernam. She's pointing out the shop of Albinus with her finger, by means of her finger. Quid Lydia digito monstrat? Digito monstrat tabernam albini. Quomodo Lydia tabernam monstrat? How is she pointing out? Digito, with her finger. Ablative of means. Cuius tabernam? Cuius est genitivus. Lydia digito monstrat? Lydia digito monstrat tabernam albini. So we answer with a genitive. Meros et Lydia ad tabernam adeunt. Adeunt significat ambulat ad. Ad, to or towards, so they adeunt, they approach, they walk to, they go to, tabernam, the shop. Adeunt. Quo, remember quo? We answer with ad. Quo, to where? Adeunt Meros et Lydia. Meros et Lydia adeunt ad tabernam. Albinos, est tabernarius, albinos Lydiae et Mero ornamenta ostendit. Ostendit est, if I did, ecce. Ostendit is to like hold out and show. Est habet et monstrat. It's to show. If something is like ostentatious, it's showy. It's overly showy. It's, you know, you don't want to be ostentatious, really. It's overly showy. In The Great Gatsby, he's a little ostentatious. Albinus, what does he do? Ostendit ornamenta. Remember, ornamentum is neuter, so ornamenta here is accusative plural. So to whom does he show this? We have Lydiae et Mero in the dative case. Okay, when you get a table for, when you go on a date in the dative, you get a table for two, right? So Albinus shows, he, shows, ostendet, ornamenta, jewelry, Lydiae et medo, two Lydia and two medos. Dativus est. Quis ornamenta ostendit? Who is showing the jewelry? Tabernarius, whose name is Albinus. Albinus ornamenta ostendit. And this actually is the word order that Latin likes. It likes to go nominative, accusative, verb. So quis ornamenta ostendit? Albinus tabernarius nominative, ornamenta accusative, ostendit verb. Quibus ornamenta ostendit? Albinus ornamenta ostendit. Quibus, to whom? Those are dative plural pronoun. So Lydiae et medo are datives for that. Albinus Lydiae et medo ornamenta ostendit. Albinus shows Lydia and Metis jewelry, or he shows jewelry to Lydia and to Metis. Qui causa est Lydiae est dativus, it's dative. Metis quoque dativus est, Metis is also dative. Lydia annulum cum gemma videt, videt annulum, accusativus cum gemma, she sees a ring with a gem. Annulus cum gemma, we could also call it an annulus gemmatus. We might say for gemmatus in English, like bejeweled or begemmed. It was a thing. I grew up in the 90s. I was born in 1988. And in the 90s, bedazzling things was cool. So you could get like a, sometimes just like super glue and little rhinestones and glue them to everything. I know they make some that you can like kind of punch the rhinestones into things, but anyway, a lot of people had things that were gemmati. So a jeweled ring would be an annulus gemmatus. Gemmatus, gemmata, gemmatum. It's an adjective. Quid videt Lydia? Lydia videt annulum cum gemma, or annulum gemmatum. Pretium annuli gemmati est centum sestertii. Pretium significat price. The price of a gemmed ring est centum sestertii is 100 coins. Since we have the est here, we have two nominatives. Pretium is nominative and sestertii is also nominative. Quid est pretium annuli? Pretium annuli est centum sestertii. It's 100 sesterces. Quantus constat annulus? Quantus equals like how great. Constat, literally we have the word stat in here. Does it stand? Does it cost, we can say. Quantus, how big does it cost? Does the ring cost? Centum sestertii. Hic annulus, this ring, quoque constat centum sestertiis. So in the story, there are two rings. They cost the same. She wants one of them. Metis is asking about another one, and Albinus is like, dude, your girlfriend doesn't want this one. She wants this one over here. So hic annulus quoque constat centum sestertiis. So when we answer the question constat, how much does it cost? You answer with it's called ablative of price. So centum sestertiis, the number 100 doesn't change, but sestertiis is ablative because it's ablative of price. Pretium huius annuli, huius annuli est genetivus. The price of this ring, tantum est quantum ilius, tantum quantum. This we translate in English as much as. So pretium huius annulus, in the huius annuli, the price of this ring is as much as ilius of this ring. Ilius and huius are both genitive, so they cost the same. Lectio tertia. Well, we can see that she's trying the ring on her finger. Ecce manus Lydiae. Lydiae significat genitivus. Beholds the hand of Lydia. So if you do manual labor, it's labor that's done by hand versus with machines. So we have digitus medius or tertius and digitus quadritus, the fourth finger, which we consider this the ring finger in English. And it's a little smaller than, it's not as wide as your middle finger. If I try to put my ring on my middle finger, non-constat, non-convenit, it doesn't fit. Omnes quinque digiti domina habent. Quinque digiti nomina habent omnes. So everyone, all 5 fingers, omnes quinque digiti is nominative, nomina is accusative. So all 5 fingers have names. So there's primus, secundus, tertius, aut medius, quartus, et quintus. They all have names. Quot digiti sunt in manu, quinque digiti sunt in manu. You have your pollex, your thumb, which is digitus primus, digitus index aut secundus, digitus medius aut tertius, quartus, which we would call the ring finger in English, and digitus quintus aut minulus, the very smallest one. Now I believe, and people can correct me if I'm wrong, that I know that we wear our rings, our wedding bands typically in the United States on our left hand, but I believe across the pond in Europe they wear them actually on the right. Could be wrong about that, but I believe I'm correct. So quomodo digitor, hic digitus. Quomodo digitor, how is it called? What is it called? Hic digitus est digitus index or secundus, right? Et quomodo digitor, hic digitus. Hic digitus est pollex, thumb, aut digitus primus, the first finger. In manu lidiae, nulli sunt annuli. There are no rings. Quote, annuli sunt in manu lidiae? Nulli annuli sunt in manu lidiae. Hey, so sad. Lydia annulum vult. Vult, we've got wants. Lydia wants a ring. Annulus quem Lydia vult, centum sestertiis constat. Here's this centum sestertiis, ablative of price. The ring which Lydia wants costs 100 coins, 100 sestertiis. Pretium annuli quem Lydia vult est centum sestertii. So you can use that ablative of price, or if you use a linking verb, the price of the ring, the price est centum sestertii. Sestertii and pretium are both in the nominative case. The price is 100 sesterces. The price of the ring, quem, which Lydia wants. The price of the ring which Lydia wants is 100 sesterces. Hic annulus constat centum sestertii. Medos hunc annulum Lydiae dat. Dat significa gives. So he gives hunc annulum, this ring, to whom? We have the dative case, Lydiae. And it's a good signal when you see the word dat that you're going to have a dative, a dative with that. Often you have to have the accusative case with the verb dat to give. It's transitive. It takes a direct object. Metis gives. So what does he give? Hunc annulum, this ring. To whom? We might have that extra information. To Lydia. Or in English, you could say Metis gives Lydia a ring. What is being given? The ring. To whom or who's interested? Whose advantage is it? Dative can be thought of in terms of advantage or disadvantage. It's to Lydia's advantage that she has a ring. Quem annulum acquisitivus, quem annulum medos Lydiae dat, medos dat hunc annulum, this ring, hunc annulum, quem annulum, hunc annulum Lydiae. He gives this ring to Lydia. Medos Lydiae dant hunc annulum. Medos annulum indigito Lydiae ponet. He ponet est ponet, he places. He places annulum accusativus in digito. Whose digito? Lydiae, genitive. In quo digito ponet, non in illo digito, sed in hoc digito. So he tries originally, you're blending in with my orange screen back here. He tries on the in digito medius ponet, but her finger is nimis magnus. It's too big, nimis magnus. So he puts it on the fourth finger, and which is a little smaller, our ring finger, and it fits. In quo digito ponet, in digito quarto. Lydia annulum in digito spectat, videt spectat, et laeta est. She's happy. In quo digito est annulus, annulus est in digito quarto. It's on the fourth finger. Esne Lydia laeta, ita, cur ea laeta est. Quia habet annulum indigito, nonne? Habesne tu annulos indigitis suis? Habeo tantum unum. Actually, habet duo annulos. Said I wear, but I wear them together. So habet duo. Oops. Said in uno digito. Okay. Habesne tu. Do you have annulos? Do you have rings? Fortasse, maybe. Nunc metus et Lydia non ad tabernam adeunt, sed a or ab taberna abeunt. So adeunt and abeunt contrary sunt. Now they don't walk to, they're not going ad tabernam to the tavern. They are going away from it. Lydia and Meros a taberna ab taberna ad ostium eunt. They're going ad ostiam to ostia. And we really shouldn't say ostia, ad ostiam. We should say just ostiam. So I should take this out. It shouldn't say ad because Ostia is a town. Ad oppidum ostiam. And why are they going there? Ostia is Rome's seaport. So Lydia and Meros are both from Greece. So where do you think they're going? They're going to set sail. Quo eunt Lydius et Meros? Quo. We answer quo with ad. Where to? Where are they going to? Ostiam, to Ostia. Unde veniunt? Where are they coming from? Remember, Julius Caesar said, "Veni, vidi, vici." Veni, I came, I saw, I conquered. So where are they coming from? Roma ablativus. All right, and I'm really disappearing here. So I hope this was helpful, and I will see you in class.